Story 1. About 5 months ago, I decided to take the back roads to Glasgow instead of the motorway. I had my sat-nav and all was fine until I got to Bargeddy, and the road ahead is closed, so my sat-nav configures another route. It takes me on this really narrow, creepy road of rubbish, spare tires and glass all over the road. I swear, I was lucky not to have 4 flat tires. Something didn't feel right, but as I didn't know the area, I continued on, and around the corner there was even more rubbish and broken glass. I'm thinking, what kind of road is this? I decide to stop to put another route into my sat-nav, and when I look up, there's a guy running towards my car with this manic look on his face. I swear I nearly died on the spot, but managed to turn the car around and get out of there as fast as possible. Note to self: never take the back roads again. Story 2. A few years ago, I worked as a front desk rep in a really nice hotel and would regularly work the evening shift. One day, I come into work as usual, and one of my managers say, "Hey, your dad called here at work. Not sure what for." I said, Okay, thanks, I'll give him a call." So I do. He tells me he never called. Weird. Anyway, I call my stepfather next and talk to him. Not only does he say he didn't call me at work, but he said that he would call my cell phone if he needed to get to me. Duh. At this point I'm freaked out. I talk to my managers and ask who taken the call. One of the front desk reps. Okay, cool, I'll go talk to that person then. So I talk to this other FD person and ask if they'd given any information about me. Nope. I sigh with a little relief, but this creep still knows where I work. I shrug it off and that's that. Except not really. This fucking creep called frequently for weeks, asking for me, claiming to be my father. At this point everyone knew not to acknowledge that I even existed when the creep called, but it was too late. He already knew that I worked there. A week into this guy calling, I approached my managers and said I was sorry, but I could no longer work evening shifts as I felt unsafe after work walking to the bus station. I never felt that way until this creep began calling work. Anyways, he eventually gave up and I never heard of him again. Not even so much as a name. Still creeps me out to this day. Story 3. This happened to me about a month or so ago. For background information, I give hitting lessons to a few younger girls between the ages of 10 to 14 in the community. For the purpose of the story, we'll call the girl I was giving lessons to Leah. This encounter happened at the sports complex in our town. The batting cage is out the back of the complex, 100 or so feet from where you can park cars. There is also a paved path just inside of the fence that goes all the way around the sports complex. Now, onto the story. I went to the batting cages to set up a tee and make sure that I had everything before Leah's mum dropped her off for lessons. I see them pull up beside where my car was parked, and went back to stretching or whatever I was doing while waiting for her. I looked back up to see Leah walking very fast towards me, with a panicked look on her face. I then realised there was an older man on a bike, a couple of strides behind her. Obviously this was a red flag to me. I watched him very closely. By closely I mean staring this guy down, as she got closer to the cages where I was. When she turned off the path to walk to the cages, I saw this guy had his phone out. This guy then held his phone up like he was taking a picture of her, or me. At this point, she was within 10 feet of me. Who he intended to take a picture of, I don't know or care to find out. He then rode his bike down to the opposite end of the batting cages where he stopped and lit a cigarette while watching us. After that, he hopped on his bike and rode back the way he came. Leah was freaked out. She said that she thought he was going to grab her. I was freaked out. I texted my mum and told her what happened. She came a few minutes later and sat by my car until we finished the lesson. I also saw where Leah's mum had texted me to make sure that we were okay, because apparently this guy had followed them all the way from their house to the complex, a few minutes away. Thankfully the creeper on the bike didn't come back, and we haven't seen him since. I promised Leah I'd always bring my bat, or use her bat to defend us if he tried to hurt us. Creepy man on a bike. Don't come back. Keep frosty.